Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. My name is Mr-Ichart, and let's jump into my first impressions of the game, Depraved. I love city builders. SimCity was the first city builder that I played back in the mid-90s. I've had the pleasure to play a number of newer city builders, such as Banished, Letha's Path of Progress, which, mind you, just announced the sequel. Congrats, Tristical Interactive. City Skylines and, City Clicker? Hey, don't judge me. Over the years, I picked up a plethora of new games, and my range of titles soared from there. One of which was Age of Empires, which played to my love of building games, but also my new love, strategy gaming. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, Mr. Ichart, what does this have to do with Depraved? Well, we'll get to that. Outside of video games, I had a love of anything historical as it is. I loved history. Games such as Eastern Front and Western Front for my World War II fix were there, as well as Sid Meier's Gettysburg getting me more into the mood for anything that involved grand strategy. And then along came a game. This game was called America, No Peace Beyond the Line. See, I was getting to the point eventually. This was a great game, in my opinion, mind you, that mixed the American Old West with the Age of Empires formula that I came to love. For the most part, you just build your civilization like you would in any AoE game. I love just building up a wild western town, and then maybe warring with Mexico. Is that even politically correct? But to get back to the point, that was the last game that I had something like that. I ended up playing many games like Outlaws by the now Disney-fied LucasArts back in its heyday of interactive games, and Desperados Wanted Dead or Alive by Spellbound Entertainment. However, nothing had really come close to rekindling what I had when I played America. Then again, we wouldn't have a video today if that weren't the case, now would we? Created by the development team over at Evil Byte, Depraved is a game that, in their words, is a city builder game with survival aspects settled in the Old West. Build towns and establish important outposts to supply your residents with food and other raw materials. Resist the seasons, dangerous animals, bandits, and conquer the Wild West. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I only had found out about Depraved when I was looking into another game called City State. Notice the theme. I ended up seeing Evil Byte on Twitter and became fascinated by the project. While I am no real content creator by any stretch of the term, I noticed they were doing an alpha test of the game and knew I just had to jump right into it. To my surprise, I was selected to be part of the alpha on the first day, and I was extremely excited. Or as excited as an unhealthy cynic can be, but that's another point entirely. Now, just to clarify, this is an alpha. This is not the final product, and it still has a lot of work to go. But boy, does the work they've already put into the game make me smile already. Each map is going to be randomly generated, so you shouldn't experience the same thing twice, theoretically. Once you're in-game, you get a settler wagon, which you can move about the map to the best starting position for your first settlement. Once the building is placed, you get your resources, your workers, to build your Western Empire. Currently, you only have access to a few buildings, but slowly but surely, as your settlement grows bigger and bigger, you'll unlock more advanced buildings. You could say that this is a classic city builder formula, and to be honest, you are right. That's what I love about this game is it takes the basics that have come from years of city builders and pretty much makes it its own. You have your pioneers, settlers, and merchants. However, all you start out with are pioneers. But as your settlement grows and new houses become available, you can then upgrade your pioneers to settlers and settlers to merchants, each with their own special needs that need to be fulfilled, or else they become discontent. Once they become discontent, they devolve into the possibility of stealing your supplies or even outright murder of your people. Speaking of murder, let's talk about bandits. They come and go at random as they will enter your town via foot or on horseback. Some will go right for your resources and then run off with some, even going so far as stealing money from you as well. Others will just come into town and start burning down buildings and killing your people. Thankfully, you haven't answered to bandits outside of mobs of civilians. Gunslingers. You don't start out with any, but they will come to your city once in a great while. To my misfortune at times, but they are the only way to deal with bandits that will roam into your city until you unlock the sheriff's office later. Or until you can have your population exercise their Second Amendment rights and get guns. America. Now, with all that said, is this game worth your time? I wouldn't be making a video if it wasn't true now, would I? This game is a very enjoyable city builder, and it feels more like Banished than it does any of the older style city builders that I'm accustomed to. That doesn't change my opinion whatsoever. So by the time this video is released, it still should be in alpha. And go ahead, pop on by EvilByte's website, link in the description, and sign up. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a bandit camp to deal with. This has been Mr. Ichart. Thanks for watching, folks, and see you all in the near and forthcoming future.